All right, rolling on here on a Tuesday. Adam Hill is here. It's Cofield. Dave Koken's with us. Talk a little baseball. What's up, Dave?
I'm just enjoying some day game action. Watch the Brewers beat the Cubs. Watching the Angels game right now, which is a weird one because it's in Anaheim, but they're the road team.
Nice. Before we get to all the baseball stuff, I wanted to get your reaction to Desiree Reed-Francois bolting for the SEC and Missouri, and maybe what's next for UNLV in terms of the athletic director spot.
Well, my first thought was, boy, this is a great opportunity to go out and get Lon Kruger to be the AD, but he's not interested. So I guess for me, I'm hoping they will go out and hire someone who thinks big and tries to take UNLV to a major conference and get out of the Mountain West. I think that should be the first order of business. What's your goal for UNLV? Is it to stay in the MWC or to get someplace else?
How about Dave Koken?
No, first of all, I don't know what the salary would be. No, I think I'd pass on that.
Let me just ask you this. I mean, if it was Lon Kruger, who I would love to, and he said he didn't want it, but how would you feel about putting a guy in a position that could have to fire his son?
Well, I don't know what they would do about that. I was just thinking of it from a connection standpoint.
Me too.
For a couple of years, I don't think it would be something that wouldn't be like a next 15-year job or something like that. But I think Lon, with his connections, could put UNLV in a great position over the next couple of years. But he's retiring, and I think we know now that he really is retiring.
Dave Koken's with us. All right, Dave. A little baseball. First of all, what do you make of the Phillies' run of late?
Well, look, they took advantage of some weak opposition, which is what you need to do if you're going to be a playoff team. Now it gets tougher because the Dodgers are coming to town. So we'll find out a little bit about them here. The one thing I can say is look at the price of this game. You got a team that's won 8 in a row. They're in first place, and they're a substantial home dog to the Dodgers. Part of that is Aaron Nola's not having a great season, and Max Scherzer looks like he is really fueled about being a part of the Dodgers. His first start was impressive. So I think the Dodgers win tonight, but at the price it's at, I wouldn't bet it.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with you. It's come down like 15 cents in the last 3 hours, so now it's Dodgers minus 150 going into that one at the Phillies. I know I've asked you this like a million times in the NL East. I still think it's the Braves, and a lot of it I base on the fact that when the Braves are dominant, they're dominant. Their run differential is better than anyone in the division. Phillies got on this run. Do you believe in the Phillies long term, or is it still the Braves division to freaking storm back and take?
I would make Atlanta the favorite. I'm rooting for the Phillies because I have an over ticket on their 81 wins, which at least is in decent position now. So I obviously want them to win just so I'll cash my ticket. But I think the Braves are probably built to do it better. They've got a much more reliable bullpen after the pieces they picked up at the deadline. And it looks like Max Fried might be coming around, and that's a big element of their starting rotation. It's hard to believe this team's actually played better since Acuna went out, but that's the case.
I want to believe the Yankees are for real because now they're 12 games over 500. They've won 9 of 11. They got one yesterday against the Royals, but I also think we need to look at the schedule, and they did what they were supposed to do, but they also displayed the Royals, the Mariners, the Marlins, the O's. Are you seeing signs that make this a real Yankees run?
Well, I think we saw the best sign for them last night, which is Jameson Taillon. He is having a great run. I think he was the pitcher of the month for July, and it was very impressive last night. I would assume Garrett Cole will be back soon. The problem is they just can't seem to field a lineup on a daily basis. I mean, I'm not going to cry poverty for the Yankees, but they've had a ton of injuries this year, and it doesn't seem to be going away. I mean, 2 more guys get hurt over the weekend, and they remain shorthanded. So I don't think they're going to make it.
Chris Sale's coming back on Saturday, and boy, the Red Sox need a boost. They've lost 8 of 10. All right, what do we expect from Sale the rest of the season? What's his innings limit? I mean, is he just going to be an opener, 3 innings? What is it?
I haven't the slightest idea. If he's only going to be used in short stints, then make him the closer.
Really?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if it's better than, for me, if you're going to use Chris Sale for 3 innings every 5 days, use him for 1 inning 2 or 3 times a week where he can close out games, which Matt Barnes isn't doing right now. So it's been done before, and it all depends on how they're going to use him. If he's going to be a full-time starting pitcher again, that's great. But if it's going to be, well, we're just going to put him out there for 80 pitches or something like that. I'd rather see him throw 30 pitches 3 times a week than 80 or 90 pitches 1 time a week.
I mean, would the concern be potentially being in the playoffs? You want to have him built up to being a starter, and that's why you're just going to try to, stretch him out as much as you can in the season?
I guess, but I mean, their bullpen's failing them right now, and I think that really is a key element for this team. Their rotation isn't that. I mean, obviously he's a better add to the rotation than Martin Perez, who's been awful, but there's just no guarantee that Sale's going to be able to go out there off Tommy John and immediately, or not even immediately, but even before the end of this season, get back to being the normal Chris Sale. So I want to maximize his usage without jeopardizing him for next year.
What is going on with Mike Trout right now? And the Angels,
I don't know.
They're kind of around, but it would be great if they had Trout around.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's coming back this season. I'm starting to think that he might not. Madden didn't say specifically what the issue is, except that the timetable keeps on getting pushed back. So clearly he's not where they want him to be, and he's not where he wants to be. And it's taken much longer than anybody thought it would. He was supposed to be back by mid-August. That's clearly not going to happen.
I mean, Steve, a month I was out with my torn calf.
Same level of athletic responsibility. No, like Dave said, Madden was hinting at something mental, which is, it sort of explains it as a calf strain, and we're going on 3 freaking months for Mike Trout. So I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Koken's with us. He does DC and the Sunshine Man, our podcast each and every week. Of course, he's with wagertalk.com. All right, Dave. In the National League, because the AL race for the wild card is still pretty competitive. I don't know if the A's can hold off the Yankees, the Blue Jays, or Mariners. It's going to be tough. Could the Reds actually threaten the Dodgers and the Padres because of the injuries with both of those teams? The Reds have actually been playing really good baseball, and they did it under the radar, but they did a really good job of fortifying their bullpen.
And this is a really big series for them as they head into Atlanta, because Atlanta's not out of it yet. I mean, the Braves, they could still make up that ground. In San Diego, now, I know they've gotten really good starting pitching the last 3 games, but is that going to hold up? I think that's a question mark. I think on paper, the Padres are still the team to beat as far as the second wild card's concerned. I think the Dodgers have to be made the favorite for the first wild card. But the Reds have a chance. I would, if I'm making a prediction, I say no. I think they'll fall short.
Right.
But they're in it, and if they can stay they're not going to stay this hot. But if they can continue to play decent ball, maybe one of the other two falters.
Yeah, the money's on Atlanta. That one's bumped up like 15 cents. So Atlanta minus 120 against Cincy. It's gray and smiling. I will say I don't place baseball bets every day, but I did take a look at the Nats today, plus 195 at the time. Espino against Carrasco. I just don't trust Carrasco. And I also don't trust that the Mets are going to immediately pull out of this tailspin.
No, neither do I. The polar bear's not hitting at all. They're just not very good right now. And I think we're starting to see the domino impact from DeGrom as far as the pitching staff is concerned, because the other guys have fallen off, particularly Taijuan Walker, who's so bad right now. I'm sure they'd like to get him out of the rotation. They don't have anybody to put in his place.
Right. What do you think of the Padres news that they're actually considering taking Tatis out of the infield to save his shoulder, save his arm, and have him play the outfield the rest of the season?
I think he will become a center fielder.
Really?
Yeah. He's not a great shortstop, okay? He makes spectacular plays, but he's got an erratic arm. And quite honestly, I'd rather see him in the outfield. I think a lot better chance he can stay nice and healthy out there. You want to maximize everything you can out of Tatis offensively, whether he likes it or not. I think it's probably the right move for him in the long run, and it might be the right move for the Padres as well.
I mentioned the Reds earlier because I'm not super confident the Pods are going to keep it up. And while the Dodgers are freaking loaded and they just added some important players in Scherzer and Trey Turner, they're also not getting good news on the injury front. I didn't realize that they trade for Danny Duffy. He's now put on the 60-day IL, so he's not back until September 18th. Kershaw's probably out until at least September 5th. These are not good signs for the Dodgers. I know they keep trying to build depth through trades, and they got Cole Hamels, but he's not going to be back for a while. I think he topped out at like 88. What do you think of the Dodgers?
Yeah, I wouldn't count on Cole Hamels much. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I'll give you a weird take on Kershaw. I think this might actually be a benefit for him because he's worn down in the past and has not been as effective come postseason as he is in the regular season. So this means less mileage, and if he's healthy, assuming he's healthy when he comes back in early September, he could be dynamite the rest of the way. I don't think he's ever going to be the greatest Kershaw we saw in his prime, but he can still be a really strong number 3 starter on this team. And who's Trevor Bauer? Anybody remember him?
Right. Well, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble. He's probably not back.
Well, the thing is, if you said in April, oh, by the way, you're going to lose Bauer in midseason and he's done for the year,
right.
I think people would have said, well, that's it for the Dodgers. They don't have that many worries right now. So if he's not back, no big deal.
Last one, Dave. I know we've talked about COVID and the college football season, and you're probably going to wait a lot later in the week to make your bets. And I know you're not a big NFL guy, but I do find the Vikings' current situation fascinating with Kirk Cousins saying, put him in a glass box and, he'll be ready to play, moving down the road. But they just had these big COVID issues, and it looks like all 3 guys are unvaccinated with Cousins, Mond, and Stanley. This would make me nervous as hell to put anything on the Vikings before freaking Sunday morning.
And also, they've got a pro-vax coach in Zimmer.
Yep.
I think you've got some potential chemistry issues on that football team. Look, I'm sure every team in the league has its yays and nays as far as the vaccine goes.
Your quarterback, though.
Well, the thing is, it's the key position, and he's in conflict with the coach. And I think there's going to be sides taken there. I think the teams that have the big splits on the vaccine issue are going to have some chemistry issues. And I'm going to try and exploit that because I think this will be, unlike college football, we're not going to find out which clubhouses or which teams have splits as far as the opinions go. But in the NFL, everything gets public. So we're going to find out about this stuff as time goes on. And I think it could be advantageous to bettors.
Find them on wagertalk.com. Dave, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Have a good one.
Dave Koken. All right, up next, we're going to get to our Broncos preview. Cofield & Company's number 25 team in the rankings. Nick Ferguson from The Fan is on the way.
More of Cofield & Company is on the way. Live in the Finley
This is
Toyota
a quick one. I'll get Nick up.
Studios.
Fresh off the Olympics, your Las Vegas Aces return home this Sunday to take on the Washington Mystics. Pre-game starts at 2:30 on ESPN Las Vegas. Brought to you by DeCastro Verde Law Group. Let our family fight for yours.
Tinfoil Hat 86 wrote on Twitter, I just visited 19 dealers, saw 23 brands, and got a crazy good deal. The Valley Auto Mall in Henderson made me #believe. Click or visit the Valley Auto Mall today.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Q here to tell you about my friends at Maui Jelly Factory. They have a large selection of products all made on the island of Maui with local fruit. They got the best barbecue sauces. They got the best jellies, jams, syrups. They even have the best coconut syrup on the market. Hawaiian pepper jelly, that's going to add some spice to your life. And a brand new item, the Lava Flow syrup. And if you've ever had the drink, well.
Steve?
Yep.
I got Nick. He's good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Jellyfactory.com.
Think you have what it takes to win a $1 million college football handicapping contest? Test your skills with the William Hill, Nevada College Pick'em Football Contest. For
We're
a
back in
$1,000 entry fee, pick 8 games against the spread each week for 10 weeks. $1 million
Is this one dry,
in
Joe?
guaranteed prizes. Register
No,
today
he
at
gave
any
me an open
participating
for this.
William Hill, Nevada Sportsbook, as picks must
Football
be in by
Frenzy?
kickoff on
Mobile
Saturday,
Home?
September 11th.
Okay.
For more details and to see a list of participating locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700.
The LA Dodgers play the New York Mets Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN Las Vegas, 1100 AM and 100.9 FM, KWWN Las Vegas.
Let's go!
The 4 o'clock football frenzy.
Hey, you hit me so hard down there.
Presented by Dustin DeHart of Nova Home Loans. Call him now at 702-577-2600. The 4 o'clock football frenzy on Cofield and Company.
All right, we continue our Cofield & Company Power Rankings NFL Countdown. Broncos did not do well. Number 25 in the rankings. Yet, if you look at some books, still have not changed the Broncos' odds, as far as I know, for division title, like 6 and 7 to 1. And I thought a lot of that was an adjustment based on the fact that they might get Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that was a Teddy Bridgewater bump up. But if you look at a lot of books, the gap between the Broncos and the Raiders in terms of betting options, the Raiders are behind the Broncos in almost every sports book in terms of futures. I guess we're a hometown show, so we have the Raiders ahead of the Broncos in the rankings. Nick Ferguson played for the Broncos. He does radio in Denver on the Fan. He gives us a couple minutes here to help us preview the Broncos season. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you guys?
We're good. I'm going to come out of left field on this one, I guess pun intended. I do have to get your take because you do a talk show on the Fan. I got to get your take on whatever happened at Coors the other day with Dinger or the N-bomb that was said. What is going on with this? And what is the latest? Because the Marlins player said, I reviewed the tape. I thought I heard a racial slur. What are you hearing? What do you think of all this?
Well, first and foremost, I thought when I initially heard it, I thought it was a racial slur, and so did the broadcasters as well, because they immediately apologized for some of the things that were said. But the team said that they did their own investigation, and the person in question was in fact saying Dinger. Right now, I know that we all can hear different things at different times, but I swear, I mean, when I let other individuals listen to it, they hear somewhat of a racial slur, but since I wasn't there, boots on the ground, standing right next to the guy, I guess I am not sure. And I guess if we're not sure, can we really kind of get on the team or that particular fan if we're not sure exactly what we heard?
Yeah, I felt like just, in context, yes, I think I heard it too. Even after I saw all of the breakdown, and they said, hey, this is the mascot's name. He was pointing at the mascot. I was like, okay, clearly I believe he was saying Dinger. And then I listened to it again and again, and I was like, I still think I hear it. This is insane. But I felt like we had moved on, and now Lewis Brinson said, well, I listened to it. I know what they said, and I believe them, but I still think I hear it. Like, have we moved on from this in Denver, or is it still kind of a big thing?
Well, it's still kind of a thing because in the culture that we're living in right now, we know the social injustice movements that's happened across sports, and more people are becoming more aware of certain things that have happened like this to black and brown people. So, yeah, it still is a hot-button topic. You never want, as a professional baseball team or any professional team, to have any allegations like this publicly and nationally being spread about you, but it's still something of a topic we're still trying to figure out. There's still several people on both sides. Some say, well, no, it was Dinger, and others are saying that they heard derogatory